A life-shattering tragedy changed Robert Redford in ways no one could have imagined. As the iconic actor approaches his 90th birthday, the weight of personal loss and hardship bears heavily on him. Beneath his glamorous image and celebrated career lies a story of deep sorrow and endurance. What challenges has he faced behind the scenes? What events have shaped this beloved Hollywood legend into the man he is today? The untold struggles and quiet strength of Robert Redford reveal the heartbreaking reality of his life. Despite it all, he reflected on his journey, remarking, "It ended up being one of the most enjoyable relationships I've ever had." His life is a testament to both tragedy and resilience. Robert Redford has long been synonymous with Hollywood success, charm, and charisma. For decades, audiences have admired his iconic performances in classic films like Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid and The Sting. However, behind the fame lies a story filled with personal tragedy and unwavering courage. As Redford approaches his 90th birthday, his life's struggles and losses come into sharper focus, revealing the events that shaped him into the man he became and influenced his views on life and fame. His story is not only one of triumph on the big screen but also one of heartbreak and personal challenges. Born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, Robert Redford was the son of Charles Redford, a milkman turned accountant, and Martha Hart, who always supported her son's dreams. His early years seemed promising, but tragedy struck when he was just 18 years old. In 1955, his mother, Martha, passed away, a loss that profoundly affected him. Redford later admitted he regretted taking her for granted during his youth, a sentiment that stayed with him for years. Martha's death followed complications from the birth of twin girls who tragically did not survive. Against medical advice to avoid another pregnancy, Martha's determination for a larger family led to a blood disorder that ultimately claimed her life. Her passing left a significant void in Redford's life and marked the beginning of a series of personal hardships. After his mother's death, Redford grappled with grief and isolation. He found solace in the arts, which would eventually lead him to Hollywood. However, his path to stardom was anything but smooth. As a teenager, he often rebelled and found himself in trouble, engaging in petty theft and risky behaviors like drag racing. His missteps included encounters with the law, such as an arrest for stolen jewelry, an incident he later described as a wake-up call that inspired him to change his ways. Despite these early struggles, Redford secured a sports scholarship to the University of Colorado, where he joined the baseball team. However, his passion for art soon surpassed his interest in sports, setting him on a new course toward a future in acting. Unfortunately, his newfound freedom at college led him down a troubling path. He began drinking heavily, which caused him to lose his scholarship and forced him to drop out of school. This failure, however, marked another turning point in his life. Determined to find a new direction, he moved to Europe, where he studied painting. The experience broadened his perspective and gave him a renewed sense of purpose. Eventually, he returned to the United States to pursue acting, a decision that would forever change the course of his life. Though his journey wasn't easy, his courage during tough times made him a lasting Hollywood star. Despite the admiration he received from the world, Robert faced deep struggles in his family life that went beyond the spotlight. In 1958, he married Lola Van Wagen, and the young couple soon encountered a heartbreaking tragedy when their infant son, Scott, died from illness. The loss was crushing, especially as they were already facing financial challenges. Redford later called this one of the darkest times of his life. Despite the immense pain, he and Lola leaned on each other and decided to continue building their family. They went on to have 3 more children, Shauna, Jamie, and Amy. However, their troubles were far from over. Their second son, Jamie, was born prematurely and faced serious breathing problems caused by hyaline membrane disease, which put his life at risk. Against the odds, Jamie survived, but the experience left deep scars on the family, and Redford carried those worries with him for years. Watching his children's struggles became one of his hardest challenges as a father. He once shared that nothing hurt him more than seeing his children in pain, and this was especially true with Jamie, who faced additional health problems during his teenage years. Jamie developed ulcerative colitis, a chronic illness that later led to cirrhosis of the liver. At 31, he underwent a liver transplant, which brought hope to the family, but complications forced him to have another transplant. The stress and worry weighed heavily on Redford and his family, but even as a busy actor and director, he was always there for his son. During the filming of Quiz Show in New York, he flew to Omaha every weekend to be by Jamie's side in the hospital. Jamie eventually recovered and went on to build a meaningful life as a filmmaker and environmental advocate. Redford's marriage to Lola Van Wagen was once seen as one of Hollywood's strongest. They married before he became a global star and worked hard to build a life together. However, their relationship was shaped by both personal tragedies and his demanding career in Hollywood. The early years of their marriage were tough, with only $300 to their name. Despite the challenges, they were determined to create a stable life together. However, losing their first child, Scott, left emotional scars that never truly healed. As his fame grew, Robert Redford often found himself away from home for extended periods, leaving his wife, Lola, to manage their household and handle the children's health issues alone. Lola put her own dreams on hold to support the family, a responsibility that eventually placed a heavy burden on her shoulders. Over time, Redford's career reached new heights with major films like The Natural and Out of Africa, keeping him away from home for months at a time. This physical and emotional distance began to strain their relationship, and in 1985, after 28 years of marriage, they decided to separate. In a 2001 interview, Redford described their decision to divorce as mutual but filled with regret. Despite the end of their marriage, Redford and Lola remained close friends, bound by their deep love for their children. Reflecting on their time together, he expressed sorrow not only over the separation but also over its impact on their family. Redford's life, however, was marked by even deeper heartbreak. In 2020, he endured a father's worst nightmare when his son, Jamie, died at 58 from liver cancer. This loss was a devastating blow, coming after many other painful moments in his life. The bond between father and son was strong, rooted in their shared love for storytelling and their mutual passion for protecting the environment. Jamie, a filmmaker and environmental activist, left behind a legacy of hope and determination. Despite surviving 2 liver transplants and battling multiple health issues, his life was tragically cut short, leaving a void in Redford's heart that could never be filled. Redford, who values his privacy, chose to grieve quietly with his family at their ranch in Utah, and they asked for privacy during this difficult time. A statement from Redford's publicist described Jamie as a loving son, husband, and father who touched everyone he met with his warmth. For Redford, losing his son was a painful reminder of life's fragility, adding yet another sorrow to the many he had already faced. The grief of losing a child is unimaginable, and for Redford, it was not the first time he had endured such heartbreak. He had spoken publicly about the pain of watching his children suffer, and Jamie's passing brought those feelings to the forefront once again. While the world mourned with him, Redford showed that no amount of fame can shield someone from life's toughest challenges. His struggles as a father had begun long before Jamie's health issues, as he had already faced the unfathomable loss of his first son, Scott. Scott passed away at just 10 weeks old due to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, a loss that crushed the young couple, already struggling financially. At that time, SIDS was poorly understood, leaving them with many unanswered questions and years of silent grief. The loss of their baby left a deep scar on their marriage. He rarely spoke about it publicly, choosing to keep his pain private. Only years later, through interviews and memoirs, did he share how deeply it affected him. He quietly supported SIDS research, hoping to prevent other families from experiencing the same heartbreak. This trauma left him with a constant fear of losing the people he loved most. He became protective of his remaining children, a feeling that grew stronger after another terrifying event involving his daughter Shauna. While driving near Salt Lake City, Shauna's car lost control and fell into the icy Jordan River. Miraculously, a brave passerby dove into the freezing water to save her. Though relieved by her rescue, her father was reminded once more of life's fragile nature. As if the loss of his son and daughter's close brush with death were not enough, Redford's family was once again thrust into tragedy when his daughter Shauna's fiancé, Sid Wells, was murdered in 1983. Wells, a journalism student at the University of Colorado, was found dead in his apartment with a gunshot wound to the head. The primary suspect was his roommate, Thad Smajer, but due to a lack of conclusive evidence, Smajer was released and later vanished, leaving the murder case unsolved. The impact of this unresolved crime weighed heavily on the Redford family. Shauna, who was deeply in love with Sid, was left heartbroken and haunted by the unanswered questions surrounding his death. Redford himself was deeply affected, often reflecting on how the murder of his daughter's fiancé felt like another cruel twist of fate. Despite renewed efforts by law enforcement to bring Smajer to justice, the case remains cold, leaving a dark shadow over the family. In 1950, Robert Redford had started to make a name for himself in Hollywood. His first major breakthrough came from the Broadway play Barefoot in the Park, where he starred alongside Elizabeth Ashley. His youthful looks and natural talent quickly caught the attention of filmmakers, leading him to his first big movie role in Inside Daisy Clover in 1965, alongside Natalie Wood. This marked the beginning of a deep friendship between Redford and Wood, a bond that would stay with him throughout his career. Tragically, Natalie Wood's life was cut short under mysterious circumstances in 1981. She drowned during a boating trip with her husband, Robert Wagner, and actor Christopher Walken. Redford, who had grown close to Wood during their time working together, was heartbroken. He had admired her not only as a colleague but also as a friend. Her death was a heavy blow, leaving him to reflect on the fragility of life. He later expressed how he valued the real, genuine person that Natalie Wood was beneath the surface of her celebrity. In their film Inside Daisy Clover, Wood helped launch Redford's career, and he would always remember her with great fondness. As he faced the ups and downs of his own life, he found comfort and determination in his friendships, especially one with fellow actor Paul Newman. Their friendship began on the set of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Their chemistry on screen was undeniable, and it carried over into their personal lives, where they shared not only respect for each other but also a mischievous sense of humor. The two were known for playing pranks on one another. Redford once gifted Newman an old, dented Porsche for his 50th birthday, only for Newman to have the car crushed and returned to Redford as a sculpture. This playful rivalry was a constant in their friendship, yet it was clear that their bond went far beyond jokes. When his marriage to Lola Van Wagenson ended in 1985 after 28 years, it was Newman who was there for him. He described their relationship as more than just a Hollywood friendship, as it was a deep brotherly connection that helped him through some of his toughest times. Robert Redford also turned to Paul Newman during personal crises, always able to rely on his friend's steady presence. Sadly, Newman passed away in 2008, and Redford was devastated by the loss. He described losing Newman as akin to losing a brother, often reflecting on the laughter and joy they shared over the years. This contrasted sharply with the grief Redford had faced in his own life, especially the loss of Natalie Wood and Paul Newman. These two significant emotional turning points highlighted the importance of friendship in his life, shaping his views and his emotional resilience. Despite his many achievements, Robert Redford has always had a complicated relationship with fame. Known for his rugged good looks and undeniable charm, he became a Hollywood icon. However, he often expressed discomfort with the public attention that accompanied his celebrity status. He longed to be recognized for his talent rather than his appearance, a frustration he shared with those close to him. His struggle with fame became particularly evident when he was passed over for the role of Benjamin Braddock in The Graduate because filmmakers believed he was too handsome to convincingly portray a character struggling with women. It wasn't a lack of talent, but rather his looks, that cost him certain roles. As Redford once lamented, people would focus on his hair, teeth, and appearance, forgetting about his acting ability. Frustrated with being typecast, he took control of his career by moving behind the camera. In 1980, he directed Ordinary People, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Director. This shift allowed Redford to focus on telling stories in a new way, moving away from the superficial aspects of Hollywood fame. Rather than just acting in popular movies, he began to dive deeper into meaningful projects that reflected his true passions and personal values. This change marked a significant transformation in his life and career, bringing him more personal fulfillment beyond the bright lights of Hollywood. Even as Redford reflects on his career, he admits that the pressure to maintain a certain public image took a significant toll over the years. In his later career, he became more selective with his roles, choosing projects that aligned with his personal values. Films like All Is Lost and The Old Man and the Gun, which he declared would be his final performance, allowed him to step away from the limelight on his own terms. His decision to retire from acting was driven by a desire for a quieter life, free from Hollywood's relentless expectations. Yet, Redford acknowledges that decades spent in the public eye have left their mark, and there are moments when he wishes he could have lived a life away from the spotlight. Beyond his acting career, one of Redford's most enduring legacies is his contribution to independent cinema through the Sundance Institute, which he founded in 1981. The Sundance Film Festival, held annually in Park City, Utah, has become a prestigious platform for independent films, launching the careers of filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Ava DuVernay. Redford's vision was to create a space where artists could tell their stories without the constraints of commercial interests. He believed in the power of film to inspire change and challenge societal norms, a belief that has turned Sundance into a cultural phenomenon, influencing the broader landscape of media and storytelling. Even after stepping down as the public face of Sundance in 2019, Robert Redford remains deeply committed to supporting the arts. His dedication to nurturing new talent and promoting independent voices continues to be a driving force behind the festival's success. However, as Redford approaches his 90th birthday, the aging process has inevitably impacted his career, health, and personal life. Known for his athletic physique and frequently praised as one of Hollywood's most attractive leading men, Redford's health challenges have become more apparent with age. For years, he had managed to maintain an energetic and active lifestyle, often hiking, skiing, and engaging in outdoor activities at his Utah ranch. But as time passed, the physical demands of his earlier years began to catch up with him. Redford has been open about the aches and pains that come with aging, noting how his once endless energy has now been replaced with a need for more rest. His friends and family have noticed a change, remarking that he seems more thoughtful and reflective. Redford himself has admitted that growing older has caused him to slow down and reassess what is truly important. In addition to the physical changes, Redford has also faced the emotional toll of losing friends and loved ones over the years. The deaths of close friends like Paul Newman, along with others from his filmmaking days, left him feeling lonely. Although he doesn't speak much about it, it's clear that these losses have contributed to a quieter life. Despite these challenges, Redford remains strong and continues to fight for the causes he cares about, like protecting the environment, which he sees as part of his legacy. Through his work with the Sundance Institute and his dedication to independent film, he ensures that his influence on the industry will endure long after he is gone. However, it is evident that almost 90 years of life have left their mark on this Hollywood legend. As he nears his 90th birthday, Redford's life serves as a powerful narrative of triumph and tragedy. Despite the glitz and glamour that defined much of his public persona, his personal life has been marked by deep sorrow and loss. The deaths of his mother, his children's health battles, the loss of close friends, and the end of his marriage have left indelible marks on his soul. Yet through it all, he has shown remarkable courage, using his pain to fuel his passions. He has become more reflective, often sharing the lessons he has learned along the way. While fame brought him wealth and recognition, Redford acknowledges that it also came at a cost, one he was often unwilling to pay. His decision to step back from acting and focus on his personal life reflects a desire for peace after a lifetime of being in the public eye. Now, he finds comfort in the simple pleasures of life, surrounded by family and nature. He spends his days enjoying the company of his grandchildren, working on conservation projects, and quietly reflecting on a life that has been anything but ordinary. Redford's story is a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure, adapt, and find meaning, even in the face of adversity. For many, he will always be the dashing Sundance Kid, the charming Jay Gatsby, or the fearless investigative journalist in All the President's Men. But for those who know his story, he is much more than that. He is a man who has faced life's toughest challenges with grace, a father who stood by his children in their darkest hours, and a friend who valued loyalty above all else. As he approaches the twilight of his life, Redford stands as a symbol of strength, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming sorrow, there is always a path to redemption and peace. His impact goes far beyond movies. Redford has made a lasting impression on Hollywood, independent films, and environmental causes. Now quietly marking a new year at his peaceful Utah ranch, he leaves behind a legacy of bravery and dedication to the causes he cares about. His life, filled with both happiness and challenges, serves as a reminder of the power of the human spirit and will undoubtedly inspire future generations.